What's up everyone, it's HK Gaming. Welcome to the Breakdown project. We'll be going through different gears or items in different games. So if you like this series, please let me know by hitting that like button or comment below. Today we're gonna be looking at all the epic charm. For the perk that we'll go over at the legendary charm video, we'll not be going through them again. So if you haven't watched it, make sure you go check it out. First, let's look at the utility charm. This charm is like its name, utility. It kind of gives you everything. Resolve gain, ultimate damage, ability cooldown reduction, Oni damage, and also stagger damage. And of course, it has the fire damage, like I have it on my perk 2. This is also the perk that I recommend, using fire damage. And for the perk 3, possible outcome is completely same with any other charm. I highly recommend using the Fire Master with that fire damage. This charm, it is like for the hunter explosive arrows only. It's like an exclusive charm. Having ability cooldown reduction with fire damage and Fire Master will perfectly work with the explosive arrow. The good thing about this charm is that it doesn't have a lot of possible outcomes, so you can get the perfect one easier. You know, since the epic gear does not give you the perfect percentage every time like the legendary one, if you want you can get the resolve gain with ultimate damage and the combat regeneration, like I'm showing here too. Having less possible outcome will also make you easier to get the perk that you want, so you have more resources just to reroll the percentage. So it could be a pretty good charm for you if you're playing fire status effect or the ultimate damage. Next, let's look at the stealth charm. For perk 1, it has the stealth attack damage, which is for the assassin. And other perks like cooldown reduction on kill or status effect duration can also work with the smoke bomb as well. Having the broken assassination with the hallucination status effects can work with this charm perfectly. And other perks are just like any other charm, so there isn't many special things that you can do with it. The only way that you want to use this is that you want that stealth attack damage with status effect duration or cooldown reduction on kill. But because there is a assassin charm, so this charm does not really meet his standard, to be honest. And the assassin charm is even better. So this is kind of like if you are playing other classes like Hunter or Samurai or Rowan, but you want to play the stealth attack style, then you might want to use this charm. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend to do so. Next, let's look at the melee charm. This is just like a katana, but charm. For perk 1, it has melee damage, melee resolve gain, melee stagger damage, and counter damage. And then for the second perk, it's just like the katana, like perfect parry window, ultimate damage, and things like that. The only difference is it has the fire damage. And for perk 3, it has the Fire Master. So if you're playing melee katana kind of playstyle but with the fire status effect, this could be a good choice for you, because for perk 1 you can have perk like melee damage to straight up bonusing your damage with that fire attacks that you're using, Way of the Flame or the Burning Blade. And then for perk 2, you can use the fire damage with the Fire Master as perk 3. Since if you're playing fire status effect, you don't have to stagger the enemy, so you won't need that stagger damage. And then next is the defense charm. This is the charm that I do not recommend using or trying at all. This is the epic version of the legendary charm, which will apply weaken when the enemies attack you. Exactly the same with the perk, but without that weaken effects, so it is completely useless. I've shown in my last legendary charm video, even if you have damage reduction, the enemies still do a tons of damage to you. That is even the enemies with a weaken effects, which they do 25% less damage. Without the weakens effects, it really doesn't have a reason of using this, unless there's a future update where you can build a tank just like a tank. Otherwise, you can just use other charm. It has the exact same perk other than the damage reduction. Next, let's look at the range charm. this is like the ranged weapon but the charm version, just like that melee charm. For perk 1, range damage, ring resolve gain, headshot damage, draw speed and reload speed as well. And for perk 2, it is completely the same but with that fire damage. So it is just like the melee charm. It is like a ranged weapon with fire damage. And for perk 3, it's like any other charm. But since ranged weapon does not have like a way of the flame or burning blade, so you cannot play a fire master with fire damage unless you're playing explosive arrow. But you have hunter charm for the explosive arrow or any other like hunter build. So there's no point of using this unless you're playing other class but you really want to play a ranged attack style. And that's it for part 1. I've tried to put the rest of the charm into one video but it will be way too long. But the second part is already done, so I'll be posting the video tomorrow. So make sure to come back for part 2. Hopefully it helps. But that will be it for today's video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe. I'll be making more gaming videos. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.